Good morning, Crossbridge family. It is Wednesday and it's time for your s.o.a.p update. You've entered into 2 Kings, and this is a continuation of 1 Kings, and you've been introduced to a couple of major characters. And in 2 Kings chapter 2, we come onto a very interesting set of stories. And I don't know if you've ever had, I'd like to call them the best, worst days ever. And sometimes it just seems like one thing can go wrong after the other, and nothing kind of is a win for you, but it's still, there's a blessing in the day. Up to this point, Elijah has been the major prophet. He's taken under his wing a prophet named Elisha, and that can get confusing. But Elijah comes to a point where with Elijah, he knows it's his last day. And all of these other prophets, these other people of God continue to come to Elisha, and they say to him in chapter 2, like, yo, do you know your man's going away? Do you know your buddy's going away? Your mentor's going away? And he keeps on telling him, he's like, yeah, I know, I answered, but be quiet about it. And he's trying to shut everybody up, like, stop telling me about how bad this day's gonna get. They get up to a river, and all of a sudden Elijah takes his cloak, he slaps the river divides, and they walk across. And Elisha looks at him and he's like, listen, I don't want you to go, but if you're going, and I know you have to go, I want a double portion of the spirit that you're doing everything in. And Elijah's like, listen, that's not really mine to give you, but if it happens, it happens. Let's do it. And so they begin to walk, and this wild story of a whirlwind coming and a chariot coming and taking Elijah up into heaven happens, and Elisha's left there all alone with nothing but Elijah's traveling cloak. So what does he do? He takes the traveling cloak and he goes back over, and he gets to the river that he crossed, probably very depressed that his best friend and mentor is now gone, and he takes the cloak and he slaps the water. And as he slaps the water, it divides, and he walks over it. And when he went across, there's a group of prophets from Jericho that see him, and they're like, oh, junk. It looks like Elisha is the new Elijah. Like, he's got this spirit. He's going to do these miracles. And so in his horrible day, they begin to make it even worse by saying, listen, we'll take some of the strongest men that we've gotten. We'll send them out to find Elijah. And Elisha just keeps telling them, he's gone, guys. You're never going to find him. He's gone. But they pressure and they pressure and they pressure. Instead of listening to what Elisha's feeling or understanding that this is a really bad day, they push. And if you look at verse 17, it says, but they kept urging him until they shamed him into agreeing. He agrees to something that he knows is a waste of time because he's frustrated and he's done. He's fried. And of course, those men come back and they're like, we couldn't find him. We don't know. And it's like, could this day get any worse? I know it's an indefinable time later, but we're reading in the next chapter, like, he starts to walk, and there's a town that's got horrible water. They don't know what to do, and they're like, Elisha, you need to help. So he's like, fine, give me a bowl with salt and water. And he brings healing to this land, and it's like, oh, what a great moment of saving this area, saving this city. And as he begins to walk, there's these group of boys that start to make fun of him, and they start to call him a baldy, and to go up on the mountain and to get away. And Elisha does what I think many of us would like to do sometimes when you've just had enough of the worst, best day ever. And he calls two bears to come out of the woods and maul 42 of these youths because they didn't respect their elders. If you're a teen and you're watching this, respect your elders. But he doesn't know what to do. It's this frustrating moment where it's like, could things get any worse? And all I want to say is, Crossbridge family, I don't know where life has you today, and it feels like one thing is going bad after another with coronavirus and restrictions again and all these things, and things continue to get worse. But I'm reminded here that Elisha knew the blessing of God was on him, that the Spirit of God was on him. And if you've placed your trust in Jesus Christ and you're part of this family, I need to remind you that you go with the blessing of the Holy Spirit wherever it is that you go today. Whatever it is that you feel like could be going wrong, you go in the power of the Spirit and you bring Jesus with you. Crossbridge, would you allow Jesus to shine through you today to all who see you, even if it's the best, worst day ever? Crossbridge, I miss you. I love you. And I can't wait to see you later on this week.